Okay, let's talk now about the size of Donald Trump's much touted jobs numbers. They're actually not that good. So we're going to dig into the numbers today. Now, remember, we've been doing these economic analyses lately. Remember, Donald Trump claimed that his stock market numbers are the best. And last week we looked, and it turns out that over their first 3 years, Barack Obama's numbers for the stock market growth were significantly better than Donald Trump's stock market growth during his first 3 years. We looked at debt and deficit. Remember that Barack Obama saw slower deficit growth, and even in some years, there was year over year deficit reduction straight up, while Donald Trump has overseen some of the biggest deficit increases in a long time. And then we get to Donald Trump's claims about jobs. It turns out that during Donald Trump's first 3 years, job growth slowed down to where Barack Obama left off at the end of his presidency. Now, all the normal caveats here. There is no one number that tells you everything you need to know about how the economy is doing. That applies to all of this stuff: stock market, unemployment rate, job creation, whatever. But when you compare the numbers, you see that Barack Obama, during his last 3 years in office, created 8.1 million jobs. And Donald Trump, during the 3 years that followed, created 6.6 million jobs. This is a greater than 18% reduction in job growth under Donald Trump, per the numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. To put it a different way, if we want to think about it monthly, under the Trump economy, we are gaining 182,000 jobs per month on average. And during Barack Obama's last 3 years, where he handed the economy over to Donald Trump, the economy gained 224,000, 224 under Obama, 182 under Trump. Now, there are two things to understand here. One of those is estimates versus revisions. The first Friday of each month, unless it's the first of the month, in which case it might be the second Friday, we get job creation estimates from the previous month, and those make headlines. But later, those numbers are fine-tuned or adjusted, and they are finalized. We get the final actual numbers. And under Donald Trump, often the estimates are higher than the actual numbers we eventually get. Now, if you present these numbers to Trump or to his acolytes, they'll say, well, Trump's creating higher quality jobs, or wages are higher or up under Donald Trump's job creation, or whatever. Those are different arguments, and we can research those numbers if those are the goalposts that they want to move to. But they have been talking about job creation. And the bottom line is that job creation slowed about 20% under Donald Trump. This is a sort of rinse, repeat, and go back to the beginning with the lies. They brag about stocks. We look at the numbers. Well, the first 3 years under Obama were stronger than the first 3 years under Trump. Oh, well, then they come up with some reason. Obama was in the middle of a recovery, and it's expected that you would have bigger stock market growth, whatever. But then later they say, Obama's recovery was actually terrible. Well, I thought you cited it as the reason why the numbers were better than Trump's numbers. It's just it's a circle. It's a never-ending circle. So then they brag about jobs. But then we look and, well, actually, job growth slowed when Donald Trump took over. So then they switch and they'll brag about growth, as they recently have been, GDP growth. But remember that Donald Trump promised 4 to 6% GDP growth, and we actually got 2.9 in 2019. It's an endless cycle. It's not really about arguing with them about the numbers. And as we've been talking about, there's really no point in arguing with Trumpists about the numbers. It doesn't matter. They're going to rationalize whatever it is that they believe to be true, or what you can convince them is true. They're still going to rationalize it away. We're not going to win this 2020 election by convincing Trumpists that the economic numbers are different than the ones that they have been told or that they believe are true. But the point is to understand that because it's this endless loop, we just need to ignore the Trumpists. They're going to do their thing. Trump's going to do his rallies, and he's going to lie, and they're going to be fired up and cheer and believe everything he says. We need to activate the people that already know Trump's a disaster, but may not be planning to vote just 9 months from now. Let's take a quick break. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at david.pakman. And while you're there, follow the show on Instagram as well at David Pakman Show. We'll take a quick break. Radio host Tom Hartman joins me next to talk about his great new book. As many of you know, I am super careful about where we publish and distribute David Pakman Show content. It's a really important decision that we make. Where do we want our content to be? We don't want to spread ourselves too thin, but we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of good platforms where our content could do well. And over the last couple of months, I've been testing publishing our content to a platform called Library. That's LBRY. I've mentioned it once or twice before. And we are absolutely loving it. It's a fantastic platform where our revenue as publishers does not depend on some algorithm deciding whether an ad should run before a video or not. In fact, it's actually an ad-free platform where our revenue is determined by the number of people that watch our videos and also by the tips that are left for us in credits that are in-platform credits. It's their own sort of currency, so to speak. By viewers like you. And right now, for people who sign up on this platform, it's completely free using the link down in the video description. For every verified sign up, we get a little bit of a credit, and you also get a credit of tips that you can then leave on content that you like, such as the David Pakman Show content that we are publishing. So use the link down in the video description. No algorithmic determinations about whether we get to make money or we don't get to make money or any of that stuff. All of our video content is being published there. Use that link, sign up, you'll get a credit, we'll get a credit, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'll update you guys in a couple of weeks about how it's going. There's also a contest that they're running. Whoever can refer the most new users gets a huge reward, which would be a big, big boost to us. So check it out, link down in the video description, sign up, let me know what you think.